Movers of the culture, of the culture. Movers of the movers of the culture. Movers of the culture, of the culture. Movers of the culture. Movers of the culture, of the culture. Movers of the culture, of the culture. Movers of the culture, of the culture. Movers of the movers of the culture.
All right, we are back on Movers of the Culture. This is your host, Thomas Joseph. I'm here with a special guest. We're going to learn all about him. He's going to give us some details about his life, what he does right after this.
I know, not another ad, but guess what? I got some more fly stuff to let you guys know about. Bow! That is Raider Nutrition, man. Let me put it up one more time. You did one. I'll talk behind it the whole time. Make sure you guys go check out Raider Nutrition. That is Raider Nutrition, as you can see it right there. Hey, from shakes to teas to numerous recipes. Make sure you guys go check them out. It's all healthy. Support healthy. Hey, it's a lifestyle, and we can all get behind that. Now let's get back to business.
All right, we are back, and this is Movers of the Culture. I'm your host, Thomas. Like always, we got a special guest in the building. Look, man, he doesn't need an introduction, but I'm going to give it to him anyway. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way, man. He's not only on one, but two radio stations. Last time I looked up, he's met and interviewed some of the most popular celebrities that the world knows, including Kevin Hart, a rock star in comedy, Ice Cube as well, Cedric the Entertainer. He's also helped push and break some of the most popular records out there that we've all listened to and clubbed to. Let's see here. He's a powerhouse in the music industry, to say the least. Out of St. Louis, I do believe so. You've heard his voice on airways, as I stated. He is on syndicated radio stations. Let's see here. If you went out to parties at some places like the Firebird, Barcode and Grill, then you seen him and met him in person and got to rock out with him. If you don't know who I'm talking about as of right now, then without further ado, let's introduce the one and only DJ LP, man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. That's a hell of an introduction. I was like, who is that? Like, I did all that. Hey, I did. Now I'll be forgetting.
forget what you do. You forget what you've done. You've done so much, man.
Thank you for having me on the show, man. It's an honor.
Hey, man.
Thank you.
Hey, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you on here. You know, we got to give our roses to the people that, you know, sometimes you forget that you've done so much and that you deserve them roses. So, no, this is the show that is dedicated to give light and roses to the people that deserve them. So, you know, just to kick it off, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, where you from, how you got started in the music industry.
Yeah. Man, it's crazy. Well, I'm originally from Decatur, Illinois. So me and my brother, we used to do like these little house parties and stuff all the time. Like he was like the dancer and stuff, you know, and I will get the music going back and forth and stuff like that. And it just something that carried with me. Like we both did radio. Like we still both do radio. Like and what happened from that is, you know, our track coach gave us the opportunity at that time to do radio. So, you know, I got in doing board op work, fell in love with it. The crazy part is I used to freeze on the mic. So every time they'll go to me to talk, I just freeze up. It's crazy because you can't get me to shut up now when it's time, like get on the mic and stuff. But I used to freeze like every moment. And I'm like, man, I got to get over that. But that's when I had a whole nother DJ name. We ain't gonna get into that one. That was just like
you're gonna leave that in the past.
We ain't never get into that name. But you know, afterwards, carried that passion with me in college. The crazy thing in college, I didn't even do any DJ work. I just sat back and just kind of let it go from there. But I was doing intern work for Def Jam. So I was helping pushing records at that time at, you know, the college parties, the clubs, going in there. And I just took that love with me. I ended up start working for 100.3 The Beat in St. Louis after college. It was a great experience. I want to say that was like my first run with the beat, I should say, because this is gonna go on the third run, but I did two so far. But the first run, like I want to say, it was just I loved it. The people I met, the mentors, just everybody I kind of feel like played an integral role in molding me how I am today. So, you know, and now, I mean, I don't even know where to start on that. I'm gonna shut up and let you get a question in because I go all day, man.
Hey, you can go all day. That's what that's what we're here for. It allow the people that's getting their roses to talk. Let people know who you are. And a lot of times, when we see you guys out there or we see you on the ground, or we really don't get to have those in-depth conversations about who you are and that background of all the work that you put in. A lot of people just see the lights and be like, oh, that's overnight. They love saying that. So
now, and the crazy thing is, when I started doing radio, it was so hard compared to what it is. I mean, it's harder now because of the state of radio, but back then you had to really put blood, sweat, and tears into it. It wasn't no just easy come up. Even with me now doing radio, I would say back then I had to do intern work for a while. And just out of the blue one day, I think I had the shortest time of intern work. They said at that station for a while. It's just because like I really wanted it. Like I'm from a small town, so I'm competing compared, in the St. Louis at that time. I'm like, man, y'all had this longer than me, but you ain't gonna outwork me. So I'm a boom, boom, boom. So, at that time, I believe St. Louis, we were on a really huge music bubble at that time. So I got to meet a lot of the up and coming celebrities and the people that kind of blew up, not just in the music, but like acting scene and, sports. And, some people, they still do their career, some don't. But I mean, it's just a journey with this whole record industry. And I tell people all the time who looking into, try to do radio or anything like that. With the state of radio right now, you could do your own work. You really, I mean, radio is fun. Like me, I still, a little bit older generation. I want to say not too old because I'm still not even like 35 yet, but still. But
don't put numbers on top.
Yeah,
on top of that.
I ain't that old yet, though.
Yeah,
but still, it just coming from the field of radio where I came from is a very different time. Like, and at that time, you just had to outwork everybody. You have to put in the passion, the work, and a lot of people now feel like don't want it because Instagram and all these other social media sites, they show you instant gratification. They don't show you them nights when you had no money to get into the club, you begging it, or you hungry and stuff like that. Because radio don't really pay that much. A lot of people don't know. Like a lot of times it is kind of like for show, but majority of the people don't get paid that much unless you like one of the top dogs in there. And then you like, okay, I'm about to get that. You getting that real contract. You getting that Charlemagne no money. They call it.
Got you.
So yeah.
Word. So you said you've worked in the radio or still working in the radio industry, and then you were also working at Def Jam as well. Yeah. And a lot of times we hear that those industries are cutthroat. Like you really can't trust too many people. It's strictly business. But from what you're saying, you had good encounters with good people, and so.
Man, I'll have some good and bad encounters. I'll tell you these stories, and that is true. That this business is very cutthroat. And me coming from the small town that I came from, I want to say I was real green on it and kind of naive and thinking people will, actually there for you. I'm like, if I show loyalty and love, they're gonna give it back, and it doesn't work like that all the time. Like you don't always get that energy because I realized, and I ain't even gonna say quick. I want to say my last run. I'm just genuine at heart. Like, hey, if I deal with you, if I, show you the loyalty and love, hopefully I get it back. Because if I mess with you, I do business with you, then we good, we family. But I learned the hard way. It's a lot of people that was in my circle, like, hey, bro, this is and that. Oh, I love you, bro. This is and that. Same ones did whatever they could to throw me under the bus, but it didn't work. God, thank you God for that. But still heartbreaking though. Somebody like if you work with or you deal with on a regular basis and they pull some snake stuff out the blue, but you will get that. You have people try to throw you under the bus for even DJs you see for like they'll undercut you and do it for like $50 or $100. You be like, what? Bro, you could have we could have all ate for real. You would have just partnered up and did it the right way, but everybody ain't approachable like that. I mean, I think I'm least approachable, like what you want to do business wise, but I've had tons of horror stories, especially dealing with like the labels. I still deal with the labels on a certain end, like as far as like doing promotion work with them. And I still deal with radio. So a lot of times that doesn't really go hand in hand because kind of like in some cases it will be a conflict of interest depending on the position you're in and what you're doing for them. Because in radio, people always assume that, oh, you're taking money or you're doing this and that. But people who are building genuine relationships, you ain't even got to do that. Like you really don't. Like after, I mean, in the end, you build a relationship with that artist, you dang near mess around, be the artist DJ, because you know you dealing with them on a different level, or you bring an artist to that label or something like that. You now you doing basically A&R work, and now you getting cut of this artist because you don't build so good with the label or that artist. So you know, a lot of people always assume, oh well, people are taking money to get these artists on air, and it don't even work like that. Like I be having a whole plan for these artists. I'm like, one, you need to go with the DJs first. Stop begging to get on radio because it doesn't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to go directly to the program director and get on air. That's dang near not going to happen. It's rare. Not in the bigger cities. You're going to have to do it the business way. You're going to have to, you know, go through a structured plan. You're going to make sure you blow up online, get these DJs involved. And I tell people DJs are still very much important as they were, you know, in the beginning of this whole hip hop scene. It's just, you know, people just got to be able to be receptive to it. And you got to go to the right DJs. And you got to build a relationship with them. Because if you out here buying all these bottles and stuff like this in the club, and you ain't trying to break bread with the DJ, like, look, hey, what you know, they're going to look at you like you crazy. You come to them talking, play my record. Wait, for free? No, what? Yeah. All this money on the VIP, you could, you know, people, it's crazy when people really do be pocket watching. So you got to look out for that. Yeah.
Now that'll lead us right into the next question then. So how do you feel when, you know, you're playing your set and someone comes up and asks you, can you play this song or this song? Or they ask you, can you play my song? What's that like?
I somewhat get bothered sometimes when they be like, hey, play this song. I'm like, look, enjoy the party. We get into that. Like, I'm going to get all the hits. We get into it. Like, especially when the party warmed up. Because when you DJ, you're not going to play all your good stuff in the beginning. Because people don't realize that if you play all the good stuff in the beginning, what you going to do for the rest of the night? Because you can't play, like, I don't.
You hit that peak too early.
Yeah, I can't play the same song over. There's too many songs out there for me to play the same type of songs over. Like, you gonna have to wait. Or they be like, you don't play my song, I'm about to leave. Well, have a good day. You should stay for the rest of the party. I don't know. But it depends though, because some people give you a flash. I literally had somebody give me a flash drive one time, and I kid you not, I had a virus on it. So that's why I'm always usually like, bruh, like if you're gonna give me music, make sure the only thing on there is your music. Don't give me nothing else. Like he had all kind of underground bootleg stuff on there, messed up my whole
man.
I'm like, bro, you told me open up this file and go in here. You know, it took over my whole computer. But it's cool. It would be good if they network before. Like reach out like me, you know, with COVID and everything, but even before, reach out social media or something like that. Like, hey, take a listen to this. So we can network and kind of build from there. And if I see you in the club, what up? What's good? Well, yeah, okay, let's get this on. But typically, I'd be like, hey, send it to me. Usually, I download it if it's good. I'm like, all right, cool. If not, I still have it somewhere if you come up. And I feel like if it fit the vibe of the club, then yeah, let's keep it going. But don't give me no slow, sad song. And you see everybody dancing time I put this song on, like, bro, you gonna have to put it bad for you. And you ain't giving me no money for it. Oh, come on. That's my reputation out there. And that's a lot of people don't understand. Like when you're a DJ, that's your reputation out there. If you do one little thing wrong on that dance floor, people vibe and having a good time, and we kill it just to play your song. You be the judge. That'll be want to tell people. But other than that, I mean, it is what it is. It comes to territory.
Word.
I ain't like them other some DJs. They go, man, don't you dare come up. I'm like, bro, it ain't that serious, bro.
They put you on the spot sometimes. They be like use some sound effects, the shotguns and everything. Like get them out of here. Like,
like, bro, it ain't that serious, bro. Just I get to you. I get to you later. Don't never play it or something like that. Like you got to hit them with something. You can't be upset.
Yeah, that way you don't, you know, be too disrespectful. You know, they try to mess up the party for everybody else. So
right.
Always got to approach it in a respectful manner. But I can only imagine how annoying that is, especially in the beginning or throughout the event itself. Let's see here. So I was speaking with a couple of different other, you know, radio personalities and DJs, and they always said like it's pretty common for a radio personality or DJ to work to have had been fired or like have worked with another radio station before. So is this going to be your the radio stations that you work with right now? Are these are going to be your your home or
no? They always say,
got you on that journey as well.
nah, they say you ain't worked in radio till you've been fired, and that is I didn't get that at first because like when you first go on radio, like the beat, that was my home at first. So I'm like, that's my first for me to. I feel like, and when you break down the numbers for me to go from a small city like Decatur, Illinois, and come to St. Louis and jump on radio within the first year, like that's dang near impossible, especially even now for it. Like, so I kind of feel like, just take it back. Like that was just kind of like, it was meant for me to jump on there. Like everything happened for a reason. So even me getting fired with them the first time. And then when I got fired from them, I didn't do radio for 5 years. Like I was so much in my feelings and hurt. Like I stopped doing anything music for like, it was like 5. And then I was like, man, I can't keep working this regular job, even though I kept it, but I was like, it's killing me. I got to get back to what I love. And that's what I actually, to get back in iHeart the second time, I had to go through promotions. I didn't tell anybody I DJ'd. So at this time, it was enough time for people to be like, I remember him, but I don't. So kind of like build it in
and sneak in the building.
Yeah, a lot of times you got to be discreet and you can't tell everybody what you do. But little do they know, I did commercials. I was doing, on-air stuff and DJing. So at that time, I was still DJing back at home. Like my old station back home called me and I started working with them. I still didn't tell my station there I'm still doing all that. And then I eventually told them like, hey, now like 3 other stations trying to get me on right now. So it's like I'm doing all that from my home and jumping in and kind of keeping it going from there. And I say, I know we ain't even talking about this, but a lot of things I would say to a lot of people out there who want to do media and everything else, watch what bridges you burn. People don't understand how real that is. Even when you don't like, it's a lot of people I've dealt with dealing with the whole, the brand, and I'm currently on furlough right now with iHeart. So with them laying everybody else off, we'll see how that go. But me, I really at this point, I'm like, I still do like 4 other stations. So if it happens, it's meant to happen. Because right now I'm in Dallas, so I'm not even in St. Louis right now. So I'm in Dallas, so it's kind of like, well, I'm not there anyway. Even though if it happened, it happened. But which is crazy because I can say back in the day, I probably would have been like the straw over that. But now, I'm moving so much with different aspects of the field, whether it's the record label or DJing out here now in the clubs, whichever one is open. I'm moving from there. But I would say with radio, just let everybody make sure you build in the right relationships and don't burn a bridge, even when you don't like people. Because I don't have PDs that were just straight up just like horrible. Didn't know the genre. My last PD is crazy. He did not know the genre of it, of what we were doing. Oh, man. He asked me to lay out a whole blueprint plan of how to run the station. I did it top to bottom, right? Top to bottom for it. Nobody knew what was going on. I did it top to bottom. I had a previous coworker who got mad that they got fired, and they had a relationship with them. So they were upset, like, wait a minute, so how are you getting all, even though they work for a whole other radio station across the street. So now they my competition. They talking to my new boss, talking about, well, I wouldn't have LP doing this and that. Did some hating stuff and try to get me fired, which it didn't work. It backfired.
Man, you already out the building. Why are you hating on somebody else?
The crazy part is we did an event with Mulatto, Flo Milli, and Ty Bree. If you don't know who these artists are, I'm pretty sure you know who they are. You should know who they are by now. Like, they're huge.
Yes.
So at that time, everybody was still getting a label signed. It was literally that week everybody was getting signed. I got all 3 of them doing an interview the same day. I'm going back to back. So, my relationship with the labels, everybody cool, kicking, and we had this outing. This person getting mad. They were like, oh, well, I heard, someone came back, was like, yeah, they was mad talking about you thinking you run the show. I'm like, what? I ain't even talking to nobody. I'm just cool with the people. We got top off. We chilling. They sent the video to my boss talking about Larry LP out here doing events with the other station across town. And it's supposed to be he's mixed mingling with iHeart. I'm like, what? Man, I had and the crazy part is, it's what people, a lot of that person didn't know the people who I knew. I'm like, You can tell whoever, but I mean, everybody knows what really happened. I'm the one who brought them here. So why you saying that? Y'all are invited because of them. Yeah, like chill out with that. But it's wild though, man. The crazy part is that person still called me every day and asked me for advice on their station on how to do stuff.
Nah, man.
Like
Yeah, it be those people that it's like, you think you so sneaky. I see you doing what you do. It's like, like why?
I know, like, you know, I'm like, I know everything, but that's the same one to be in my face telling me I love you, hey bro, this and that. And I'm like, yeah, you keep all that. I'm good. I'm good. So, you know,
Yeah,
that's
man,
one of the growing pains of radio that sometimes, you know, that kind of hurt. But me being a person I am, like, I don't want to say I'm super laid back, but I'm to a point where I just think I'm at peace with a lot of stuff. So I'm like, it's numerous people I have helped. And I said, y'all did all this hating on me for what? I will help you get there. You still won't be better than me. Just because of your energy you got. Like, I'm good.
Give them the recipe and they still won't be able to cook it the same.
You still can't get the sauce correctly. It don't even matter.
Exactly.
So, you know, I mean, it's definitely one of those, radio is definitely one of those things you got to have a passion for. Because if you, like with me, I had to keep my main job and still do radio. And, you know, that would hurt because it's kind of like, and not even to toot my own horn, my ratings even show I was better than the people that was getting a full-time pay, even though I'm part-time. You know, with me being on their shows or doing anything else or mixes or actually doing the stuff, my numbers was outproducing them, but they still making more. They still getting all the credit. I'm like, at first, you know, I would, you know, that bothers everybody, but you know, I just had to,
of course,
you know, run my course. You got to play the part. The smartest advice somebody gave me was shut up and do what you're supposed to do. Like, don't even, just shut up and do what you're supposed to do. Don't even worry about it. And heck, when I did that, that's when you know, stuff started working in my favor, start taking over, and I started building and getting more relationships from there. So, you know, history wrote itself right there.
That's the thing. That it's always kind of hard, you know, to not really get recognized for the hard work you do, but when you do realize that you just got to keep going, and then when the results start coming in, then it's something beautiful. Let's see here. Tell us about a time. I know we were speaking. You spoke on that a little bit about the 5-year, you know, departure from radio. But was there, including that time or another time that, you know, that hit you kind of hard, that you were able to, you know, eventually get over and be a better you, that, you know, you can shed advice for anyone else that's listening that might be?
Man, I'm happy you asked that. It's that time and now. I can speak on both parts, but that time before, I would say, me working a regular 9 to 5 job every day, and I'm like, I'm doing all this work and I'm not happy. So if I'm gonna be busting my butt for something, at least let me be happy or do something I love. So I was like, one day I was like, man, let me try it. My mom kept getting on me about doing it. That's who got on me the first time about, look, I ain't saying quit your job, but go do what make you happy, because you depressed, you out of it. Like, what's going on with you? So I got to give it up to her, like, for actually getting me in the role and the run. You do it to actually, when I got into the run that time, that actually helped me where I am now, as far as like building it. And like, even with me, I would say now, with me being on furlough, it did kind of, you know, with COVID, it stopped a lot of money. So with me being in St. Louis, you know, I DJ, I hustle. So I'm doing that. I'm still doing my other radio shows and things like that. But it still gets to a point. It's like, you know, my blood, sweat, and tears went to the station. I kind of helped build it. I done brought a lot of money and everything else to it. For what? Just when to say, hey, at the time, you know, we're going to put you on furlough. But I'm like, wait, I make less. Why am I on furlough? And I don't brought y'all, because my main job, I deal with finance. I'm like, these companies, and I added up, I said, I don't brought y'all over the span of the last 3 years. I don't brought y'all over 5.8 million. This is a real number. I don't brought them. Like, and the fact I said, I'm making how much I make over that kind of had me thinking like, I could do this stuff on my own. So a small story from that. I was helping my mom move to Dallas. I want to say around July, August. St. Louis had this bad storm. And while I was in Dallas, didn't know. I flew back home to St. Louis because my son had this whole he was on his basketball summer thing or whatnot. I was like, yeah, let me hurry up, get back home. Take care of him. I get there, it's an orange sign on my door. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm looking at my parking lot. It's like cars everywhere, like a tornado hit it. Come to find out, it was a huge storm and it flooded my whole apartment. DJ equipment gone, clothes, my birth certificate, TVs, you name it. I had like a brand new TV I hadn't put on the wall yet. I had it like right there, like about to mount it up. So I get home, all my stuff destroyed. My car it's total because it flooded the engine. Now, remind you, I just bought that car, I want to say like a couple months prior. So I'm like, man, how my house get condemned? Car got totaled. My renter's insurance said they don't cover floods. So it's like, what? So the apartment lease, like, they didn't tell none of us it was a flood zone that we lived in. So just about all of us was pissed. And we like, wait a minute. So we got to hear. And then they gave us 8 days to move. So I'm like, I got to clean all this stuff out. I ain't got no car. I ain't got no place in 8 days. So, you know, I had to call a couple of the kinfolk that was left there, kind of help get all that stuff situated. But that right there, mentally, like, it messes with you because I'm like, man, I had to learn how to lose everything and keep moving. So, you know, now I'm kind of like, all right, so now I can't DJ. The job I want to do, I love, furlough. I lost a house and a car. Now what do I do? So I'm like, man, my only option is to go where my main family is until I get situated. So, you know, that's kind of hard for me because I have kids in St. Louis. So it's kind of like separating from them so I can move down here and have a better situation. So it was a straw, like, for real, like my faith and everything probably kept me going because there's many nights I was up here crying like, man, what am I supposed to do on this? A, B, C, D. I kid you not, reason why I feel like it was probably meant for me to be in Dallas, I literally got down here and had a place in like 6 days. Like, and where I live, I'm like, man, they were telling me it was like a waiting list for a minute. I'm like, man, forget it. I'll go over here. I'll do this and that. But the place I found was like way in my budget and everything else. So I'm like, man, my main job, they let me work from home permanently. So I'm like, man, so at least I get to keep a job. I got a place. Just got my whip and my DJ equipment. So I'm like, man, so now I'm working down here. I got like a couple gigs coming up this month. So, you know, that, and then like I'm still heavy with the record label. You know, I got an event tomorrow that I'm dealing with a couple of the labels, and you know, just kind of getting the role of everything, man. So that right there kind of, I say all that hit me at once. That kind of, you know, kind of just steered me off the lane, the path I was going. Because the crazy part is I had a couple of business partners. We were about to get this event space and kind of just rent it out for people. They want to do podcasts, album listening party. Like, we had everything set. We're like, hey, we about to go. Whoop-de-whoop. That happened. It's kind of like, man, crap. I got to use the money from that to get situated, get up on out of here. Because originally, the part I left out, originally I had a job offer down here. So when all that happened, I was like, okay, maybe it is meant for me to come down here. I got family. I got a job offer. They, not the fact they reneged, but they had to because of COVID. Like, the boss came down and was like, look, yeah, we can't even add this to the budget right now. We can't even afford it. But I can't speak on it because it's supposed to come back around, this whole contract stuff. So yeah, hopefully it's something. Hopefully it works. So, you know, we'll see.
Now, hopefully it's going. You know, what's best for you is going to happen for sure, man. And for anyone to go through all that, man, and still be smiling and still, you know, be focused on their goal. It's not too many people that can come back from that. You know, we see in a lot of cities, especially a lot of big cities, the homeless population has risen crazy. So
really, for
man,
real. Yeah.
Salute to you for continuing and, you know, and staying strong, man. For real. Let's take it in another direction. A little lighter questions. Now these questions are like either or. I got 3 of them for you. Let's see here. So the first one, fame or fortune?
Fortune. And I say that because fame, you can get drunk off that fame and go nowhere. Fortune, at least I can invest and bring in people with me, like family or friends, or kind of invest in other people and have their dreams come true. So I would rather take fortune.
Fortune, that's a good choice. Remy Martin or Hennessy?
Ooh. Shout out to my people at Remy Martin one. I probably would go Remy. I'm gonna have to go with Remy. I love Henny, but I'm gonna go with Remy. Remy, yeah.
Good choice. Shout out to the people at Remy. I don't know you, but he knows you, so
Let's get the
shout out to
sponsorship
y'all.
popping, y'all. We gotta get them on.
You did. All right. Favorite cartoon growing up?
Oh man, my favorite Static Shock.
Static Shock. Now I haven't heard of that one. Brief details on that.
Static Shock, he's with DC, so he's like a dude who got these mutant powers from like this mist, and he like let out like it's kind of like Black Lightning. He actually has the same powers as Black Lightning, but a little bit different.
Got you. All right, now let's see here. Now the next section is explain those pictures. See if I can pull it up on here.
Okay.
Bear with me 1 second. See if I can find it on here. Let me see if I can just show you the pictures. Let's see if it shows up on here. So
I think I can see it.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, it's moving out, in and out. I think the one on the left is me on the couch.
There you go.
Yeah, that's when I got
with a billboard.
So that's when I got my first plaque with Lil Baby.
Yeah.
Crazy part about that, my boss did not want to play anything QC or Lil Baby, and I literally was begging this man every day, can we get Lil Baby on? I actually begged for Cardi B. So the crazy part is when Cardi B came around, he was like, he took all the credit, like, oh, I love Cardi B. I'm like, what? So he was like,
and this was the same person who asked you to give him a blueprint on how to do his job?
No, that's someone else. That's the whole, that's how many bad PDs I had back to back. But the first one, I was begging for that. And Cardi, they still didn't give me my Cardi B plaque. I had to call the label for that one. Hopefully that one come through. But the Lil Baby one, I feel like that one, I worked my butt off of that one. That's probably like one of my biggest accomplishments in radio, I would say, is finally getting my plaque. Because I know I was putting in work, like, look, we got to get this Lil Baby popping. Whoop-de-whoop. When he came in town, I'm like, look, we going in. Man, bruh, if I told you the story on that when he came in town, that's a story for another. I don't even know I can tell that story. I ain't trying to speak what happened, but that story was wild, man. That was a wild night.
Hey, you survived, so I can only imagine how much fun it was.
Barely.
Barely. Oh man, that's a fun night. When it's barely that.
Google St. Louis and Lil Baby come through. They'll see what I'm talking about with this whole him rolling up at a club and situate, man, a video shoot and stuff like that. Man, it was wild. But yeah, I'm alive.
Right. Yeah. Hey, that sounds like a fun time. Now the other one, I'm not sure if you saw it. It's a young lady and a little young man.
Oh yeah, that's my son and his mom. So that was at his which birthday? I think it was like his second or third birthday party. He's huge. He's a huge kid, so it was one of the two. That's why he's been big forever.
Now what's it like having you have one child or
I know I have 3 actually.
3. So what's that? Wow. So what's it like having 3 children, going through this whole journey of following your passion and your what's meant for you? What's all that like balancing?
It's extremely hard. Like it's probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do is balancing time with everybody because because I got 2 girls and a boy and their personalities are different. Like off the spectrum, nobody is the same. Everybody represent a different personality. I feel like of me. Like my oldest one, she's so calm and laid back and nothing bothers her. But my second child, that's the creative one who's always into everything and ooh, Lord, that's a whole nother story with her. But my youngest one, he actually is the reason why I said I got to go now harder than ever because I was talking. I think he heard me talking to my brother, and I was like, yeah, man, I might want to wrap this whole thing up with the whole DJ thing. I'm like, man, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna stay away. I'm good. And my son was like, well, if you quit, how can you tell me not to quit stuff? And I'm like, hey, dude, you like 7, get out of here. Like he had a point. At the same time, I was like, man, you right.
You a kid.
Parents can be wrong too, I hear you. So yeah, it's definitely hard. It's definitely not for the weak. I wish it was a blueprint to that for real. Like let me know how can I balance, I done missed a lot of school work, like plays and sporting events, because I had to do, my radio stuff at the time. And, that's when FaceTime come in handy. But other than that, yeah, it's definitely hard because, they might not understand at the time what you're doing for them. But, they don't understand why they got the iPhones and stuff like that, the doors of the Xbox. But, I'm like, hey, I do it for a reason. So you can have what you want. And, it worked both ways.
Exactly. I feel like I don't have children, but, being raised by a single mother, just being raised, period. Like, as long as you give them love, man, they got to figure out the rest.
Facts.
But as long as you give them the love, they'll never have to go out there trying to search for it or, believing in something that's not love, that's that's trying to disguise itself as love. So I feel like they'll definitely grow up to be something special, following in your footsteps for sure.
That's real.
This commercial is brought to you guys by the ones and only Flavor 91 Bistro. Hey, make sure you guys go check it out. Good food, good service. Man, not even good. It's amazing. Let's just keep it real. Check out the reviews if you don't believe me. Hey, until then, make sure you guys check out the menu. Check out what they're doing. Support them. Go cop the merch. Don't play with it. All right, let's get back to business.
All right, so let's see here. I got a couple more questions for you, and then we can wrap it up. Let's see here. We talked about one of your biggest accomplishments. I'm not sure if this go into it as well, but what's been one of your, most proud accomplishments that you've achieved so far?
Shoot, I got a couple. One in particular, I would say, I was able to help a lot of people get into radio. And kind of help them achieve their dreams. Whether they took my advice and went for it after that, because a lot of them ain't doing radio, some are. But my goal has always been, if I'm getting in the door, I want to help somebody else get in the door and kind of help them move from there. I want to say that, and I actually got my favorite show is Power. So anybody know me know I love Power. And out the blue, and this is why I say never burn relationships with somebody. Because one of the managers I was dealing with, I could not stand them for the life of me. But I always kept it respectful. Like we agreed to disagree, and we kept it moving, but we still worked. They called me out the blue one day. It was like, look, I need you to DJ this AT&T event for Power. I'm like, stop playing with me. Got me on. It was amazing. I loved it. Because of that, like I built a relationship with the promotional people from that, and I was able to do like 3 more events because of that. And I'm like, I was like, oh, I'm doing something now. Now, I'm getting up there, getting my name out there. This is my favorite show. They got me DJing. A crazy thing about one of the promotional ladies at the time, and I probably could talk about him because I don't think she worked with them, but she hated Cardi B. So that's when that Bodak Yellow was popping like hard. She's like, turn that trash off. Nobody like it. I'm like, you in St. Louis, you in my city. It's different. You from New York, and I don't know how you don't like it, but
yeah,
put it on. Everybody going crazy. I'm like, St. Louis is a hood city. We not real, super bougie classy. They a little bit of a little ratchet in it. Went crazy, and then I just looked at her like, oh, okay. What was you saying? All right, cool. But I still kept it respectful though, kept about my business. But that was kind of like my aha moment. Like I told you, let me do my thing. Mm-hmm. That goes back to your question when people be doing requests. Let me do what I do. Okay, I got you.
Uh-huh. Let me show you. Just believe in me. That's all I need you to do.
That's all, man. So yeah.
For sure. All right. Well, let's see here. Just last question. So, you told us about your journey. You told us about where you came from. You told us a little bit about, what you're waiting on to, as far as your job, what's next for DJ LP within the next, after Corona, any long-term goals? What are you working on currently, to push you forward to that person that you ultimately want to be?
That's a good question, because with Corona, to be honest, I don't know when that's going to end, but hopefully soon. I'm working with a couple artists right now with Live That Life Entertainment, 350 Honcho, ESC Young Homie, amazing talent. And I really don't even throw that word around there like that. But what's next for me? I want to get more into like artists like development in a sense. Like I love radio and I love music. At one point in time, I just wanted to be like an operations director and kind of run it. But now I'm in a state where I would like to own a couple of stations, but I also want to do artist development work. And I want to take it back to like the real radio days where you wasn't hearing the same 20 to 30 songs back to back. Like that was the fun part about radio. It was like you heard a bunch of songs. It wasn't, I feel like a lot of these stations now, and ain't no disrespect to nobody, they use what I call the iPod theory, where they play when iPods first came out, they didn't hold that many songs. And then you play your same 20 or 30 songs over and over. But after a while, what they're not realizing is the attention span of people now is so short. Like, I just heard that song last hour. Now you gotta give me something else. They want to keep hearing something. I don't care if it's an old song, but I mean, usually a lot of those older songs, especially in the Black community, because we burn through songs. We like, look, I don't heard that enough. But if you play the right song, you'll be good. So I mean, that's my goal. Eventually, to either own a bunch of stations and also do artist development.
Where and that's definitely needed as far as like the artist development, especially when it comes to the labels. A lot of people aren't doing that no more. They're just signing them based on a song or two and pushing them out there. And once the artist gets that money or get put in that position, they don't know what to do because they haven't been taught by the OGs in the game. About finances, about certain contracts, about everything that comes with the industry. So that's definitely something needed that'll definitely help out everyone that's looking to get into the industry for sure.
Definitely, because the artists I'm dealing with now, like I deal with finance and we have had a deal on the table, but it was so trash. And I said, look, by the time we get done, y'all not going to be able to record an album. It's too many people hands in a pot of getting this money. It's like, I don't know the whole legal contracts, but I know enough about finances. And I know enough about, because I do it on an everyday basis of how much money you taking out of here. This and over the long term, that doesn't work with them. So that's another reason why I want to get into artist management is because I want to get into, breaking down your financial plan. A lot of these artists do have kids or families. Well, what's your portfolio going to look like? Like if you ain't learned nothing else from like 50 Cent out of anybody, bruh, if you don't invest in stuff, even if you have a crazy idea, because every time I hear that vitamin water story, it's mind boggling. It's like, wow, like anybody could have done that. It's water. Like you can sell just about anything now online. I feel like anything else. So I feel like that's another reason why I really want to do that work and kind of help people. To me, I always wanted to help people. So that's another avenue. Help you with your finance, help you build your career. And some people I ran into really don't want a long career. They just want to make singles and have a little bit of buzz and go about their life. I mean, I'm kind of iffy on that, but at the same time, at least you know what you want. Like, you ain't one of these people. It's a lot of artists in here don't know how to approach, whether it's industry people, DJs, radio, anything like that. They don't know how to conduct business correctly. And like I tell a couple of people I'm dealing with, you got to know how to perform. You got to know how to do business. And now the labels, they want you to lead. Like I can't mention them, but they'll want.
Don't give away too many keys out there.
Can't throw too many of them out. No, they want. They really want that organic 1 million views, and a lot of people feel like you can buy them, but they have a system that can track when you ain't buying.
Oh yeah, man.
And I be telling people that all the time. Stop getting that fake. Like I get it, you trying to get an extra boost. They actually have a system that determine because they use the fake stuff. So they got access. They all work. A lot of people know they all work together, even with the Spotify and Apple Music. All them. If you don't think they have a percentage in the record labels and the money they getting from this, like you are crazy. That's why Spotify came with that new deal now where they'll promote your stuff, but they're getting part of your streaming credit. Like they already don't pay you nothing. So they want to dip in it again. Like that's record label 101 again. Like you almost get a 60 deal. So yeah. Just gotta be careful with that with the artists.
Hey man, that's hey. I'm looking forward to looking up some of the artists that you stated as well. And continue looking at your journey, especially on IG, but also connecting back again and seeing how everything is going, especially after this Corona's over, and seeing how everybody is doing. But before we go, and I read out the the outro for my thanks and all. Is there anything else that, we didn't touch on that you want to, let us know about? I know you said there was an event that you're throwing, that you're a part of.
Yeah.
That's coming up. But is there anything else that, any EPs from the artists that you're working with, any place they can go to see them, see your material as well, any sets online, anything?
Absolutely. My artist, ESE Young Homie, just dropped the album. Go check that out. It's on Spotify right now. That's ESE Young Homie. Definitely want to check him out. My man's dope. I'm telling y'all. Like he definitely got a bunch of hits. Right now, we working a record Like Water with him and 350 Honcho. So definitely go check that out. I got a new mix I'm dropping coming out. I want to say next week. I'm kind of gonna be doing on Mixcloud, and then my Twitch, Your DJ LP. Hit me up on there. IG as well. Your DJ LP across the board. Also, I'm working on my album now, so I probably won't drop that until like June. But I ain't rapping. I'm doing like
you said,
everything. Like So definitely excited about that. Kind of get a lot of the Midwest and Southern talent, all that stuff involved. Actually, anybody, if they dope, they send me some stuff like, let's work. Let's get on some stuff. Definitely.
All right. Well, hey, you guys heard it first, man. We just got done talking with a very special guest, DJ LP, man. Before we go, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity, to tell your story, a little bit of your story to the people that might not know it, and some of the people that do know but didn't know all the intricate details about some of your life. It's inspiration. First off, you gave us a lot of inspiration, yo. So if y'all are out there, y'all going through some things and went through some things, do not allow it to break you, allow it to strengthen you and your goals and your focus, and keep moving forward. I want to give a thank you to you on behalf of all the independent artists out there, all the artists that might not have said thank you that's in the industry directly. I want to say thank you on their behalf, and everyone that's watching that's going to get some inspiration from this as well. My company for giving us this honor, as I stated before, but I really appreciate it. And we definitely have to do it again, and I'm looking forward to next time we talk.
Man, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate you, for real. Like, thank you. I know we couldn't get together the first time, but I'm happy it finally came together, man. Thank you.
Hey, it was all right, because things started messing up, and that's when I figured out I couldn't do the audio, so I'm trying to hurry up and before ours, because I did another before that one. I was like, oh man. And then you said you had to push it back. I'm like, cool. Let me see if I can, we can reschedule it. But I'm so happy we were able to do this, man. I'm really excited for real to give this out to everybody, and I'll definitely let you know when I do publish it for sure.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you. If I can post it and let everybody know from there. Oh, also I forgot. Y'all can catch me I-55 Radio on 103.7 The Beat, Epoch Radio online. Also, I'm on 99.9 The Beat, Hot 105.5 Champagne. So go to my IG. You'll see everything from there. So y'all can find me.
And what times?
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right.
Too fast, my bad.
Hold on. No, you good. On the weekends, 103.7. We're on Sundays from 6 to 8. Epoch Radio, we're on Saturdays, I believe 5 to 7. I'm doing the weekend mixes on Hot 105.5, so you can catch on there from like 7 to 9. 99.9 The Beat in Albuquerque, that's more old school station. I'm doing all their holiday mixes, and you can catch me on the weekends as well. The weekends, my time jumps so much from the mixes and everything and on there, so it's not a definite time yet. So
got you. Just tune in.
Yeah, tune in.
Just tune in. He'll give you all the updates. Well, once again, it's been a pleasure. Follow it. Yeah. Make sure you click the follow button. Hey, for sure. Yes, once again, man, it's been a pleasure. You guys stay tuned to the next episode. This has been another episode of Movers of the Culture. Hey, I'm Thomas Joseph, and we just got done speaking with DJ LP. Yo, salute, man.
Appreciate you, man.